I'm Kara Morgan. Thank you for joining us on this election information series. And today I am with Rick Beasley, who's running for County Commissioner. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Kara. Thank you for coming out here. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
My name is Rick Beasley. I'm a 30-year resident of Lincoln County. In my life, I have been a soldier. I have been a logger, but mainly I have been a journalist. And for the last 30 years, I have been a publisher and a reporter and a broadcaster here in Lincoln County.
Wonderful. And your name is very well known with working with the paper, having your own paper. So what made you decide to take this leap and run for county commission?
Well, I got on the Depot Bay City Council about a year and a half ago, and it was a completely different direction from me. I've been very interested in politics, of course, my entire career. And the move into politics really opened my eyes, and mainly on the difficulty that we face as municipalities in the county. We've got real problems, terrible problems with revenue, with housing, with on every front, rural sprawl. The tourism industry has been decimated under the county's absolutely poor management. So on almost every front, including decent housing, we're going in the wrong direction. And that's why I'm running.
And you mentioned a few things that you see that you feel needs improvement. Can you share a little bit more about that?
I'd be glad to. And one of the things I've been talking about is tourism. And there has been a real backlash over short-term rentals in our county and in the cities. And this is a direct result of the lack of management and the laziness and the dawdling of career politicians who you never see until election time, who drag their feet and let things get out of control. What happened in Lincoln County specifically was about 8 years ago, neighborhoods were completely disrupted by large mansions that were built specifically as mini hotels. And instead of getting on the problem at that time, it took 7 or 8 years for the county to finally figure out what to do. And this is, this is not a problem with just the county. Our cities have gone through this also. So they have been absolutely terrible managers of what was our #1 industry here in Lincoln County. A wonderful industry, but it has to be an invisible industry. It has to be managed real intensely at levels that have never been seen before. And that's one thing I can bring. I've been involved in property management as the owner of an RV park for many years, providing affordable housing for people. So I want to bring that brass tacks knowledge and help answer some of these issues. But we absolutely cannot afford any more loss in our tourism industry. In January alone, we lost 60 full-time workers in the tourist industry, according to state employment statistics. We are at one of the lowest levels of regular employment that we have been in ever. I mean, 20 years ago, there were many, many more employees at work in Lincoln County. And, but again, the county has been just absolutely absent on figuring this whole thing out until recently. And it's funny that the announcements as to what's happening, what the county is finally doing, should come out at election time. So that's one thing.
So how do you feel you could make a difference where some of these things or others are concerned?
Well, take housing, for example. The incumbent is sort of it takes a lot of pride in, for example, $66 million in public housing that is coming to Lincoln County. And I see it completely differently. What I see are a lot of projects being built, a lot of project housing. And that's not what a lot of workers and a lot of people that that people really want. They don't want to live like ants in a colony. They want to have an opportunity to own a home. And I would rather take $66 million in federal funding and convert it into something like a homegrown FHA where young workers can qualify for a mortgage from the county to buy a new home. And I really believe that's what people want. They don't want government-sponsored housing. We should not be building it anyway, especially in tsunami zones. That makes absolutely no sense. So that's another area that I think the county hasn't really thought things through. In terms of rural sprawl, this is a real problem. If you get out and you drive around our county, you'll find these many clusters of urbanized development or housing developments out in the middle of nowhere that really, in my mind, shouldn't be there. The county has no business in issuing an unending supply of building permits for places that don't have urban infrastructure. And we saw this happen at Rhodes End in the Lincoln City area. And this is a city that has a real problem with septics to this day within the city limits. We see Glen Eden Beach, where just absolutely unlimited growth in Glen Eden Beach has caused all sorts of problems, especially with its partnership with relation to Depot Bay, which is where its sewer goes. And now these cities are at a point where the sewer system is almost broken because of this rural sprawl and this unlimited amount of building permits that are being issued by the county. So that's another area I think the county ought to get out of that kind of business and encourage places like Glen Eden Beach to become their own municipal entities. That's going to be the only way that this county can move forward, I think, and keep the beautiful nature of it.
So, Rick, there's a lot of choices on the ballot this May. Why should people choose you?
Well, one is I'm kind of I'm very different than I think all of the other candidates. I'm kind of unconventional. I'm kind of a maverick. I am often on the tail end of votes, but what I am there to do is to go on the record and to represent people who don't have a voice, homeowners who've lost their voice, workers who can't find a place to live because they're in third place behind retirees and then behind Section 8 and government-supported housing. And then comes the lowly worker who makes too much for government assistance and not enough to get into the retiree housing market. So these are the voices that I want to represent. I don't know what the other challengers to Commissioner Hall represent. I haven't had a chance to see and investigate their stuff. But I would say this to the voters of Lincoln County. It's time for a change. You have 4 probably well-qualified people. Even if the qualifications aren't as deep as mine, which include time on budget committees, time in government as a city councilor. I was elected to a small road district that had no cash but was able to lead a war on potholes. I'm a doer. I'm a businessman. And that's the kind of attitude that I would bring to the Lincoln County Commission. Now, it's going to be a very hard road. This incumbent is entrenched. But as far as I'm concerned, that commissioner offers the citizens nothing. It just offers nothing. There are no answers there. I'll work for the residents of Lincoln County, all 45,600 of them.
And Rick, if somebody wants some more information about you or wants to reach out to you, how can they do so?
Well, I'm on Facebook. Rick Beasley for Lincoln County Commission is my Facebook page, and I post on that daily. And I'm going to put some pretty interesting stuff up there. So if you just want to have a good time on the internet, do that. My phone number is 541-961-8323, and I'm available to go anywhere and speak to any group. I enjoy doing that. I've had the opportunity to speak to a couple of groups so far, and I very much appreciate the reception I'm getting from everybody. So,
all right. Anything else that you would like to add?
Well, I think that in the end, we've had a shift in our economy. From tourism is now behind residual payments, Social Security payments, retirement, et cetera, et cetera. So that's not a good economy to have. I want to restore our economy. I want to restore tourism to its #1 position, because that's a vibrant economy. A retirement economy, let's face it, is not a vibrant economy. It may rule the roost. You know, people may think they have a lot of political sway, but the only reason we have 2 hospitals or 15 checkout lanes at Safeway or a couple of big box stores in Newport is because of tourism. And we have to save and protect that vital industry. And I understand it, and I'll be behind it. My opponent, the entrenched incumbent, is absolutely anti-tourist. It's almost like a suicide mission. This lady has won by a landslide almost every election.
All right. Well, Rick, thank you so much.
Kira, thank you for coming out.
And we wish you the very best of luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Kira Morgan. Thank you so much for joining us on this election information series. You can find it here on our Facebook page, on the YouTube channel. If you like what you see, of course, hit like and subscribe so you can get notifications of our other videos that we have going on.